Hello, everyone. I'm super excited to be with you guys today. I'm so happy. Welcome to The Real You. I'm just going to give it a couple of seconds for people to join us. If you're live with me today, please, if you can just say something so I will know you're here. If you can say something, please say hello or something so I would just know, so I can say hello to you as well. Welcome, guys, to The Real You. If you can give me like a thumbs up or just, say something so I'll know you guys are here before I start. I will just give it a couple of seconds before I start. Okay. Okay, thank you so much, Oluwatoyin, for joining me this evening. If you're here today, please just say hello, so I can say hello to you as well. And I want to welcome you to The Real You. My name is Elizabeth Ali, and today I will be sharing my story and also where I've been, because a lot of people were sending me a message to know, okay, Elizabeth, where have you been? So as you go along the whole of this video, I'm sure you will get to know where I've been all this while. So welcome, guys, to The Real You. Okay, I'm just gonna start, and if I can ask you all to please share the video, and if you can hear me as well, please let me know that you can hear me. Thank you, Monday, for joining me. Chinwei, thank you so much for joining me this evening. Okay, guys, I'm just gonna start. So I just want to let you all know that today's video or today's talk is gonna last up to 45 minutes, an hour. I just need you guys to be patient with me so I can be able to share about myself so you can understand in details where I'm coming from and where the vision of The Real You all began and where it's going. So I'm gonna start with a story, something that happened to me last year. I went to, pick up my son from school on this fateful day, and being the amazing mother that I am, my son was like, Mom, can I have chocolate? And I was like, okay, what kind of chocolate would you like? And he goes, oh, I should ask uncle. Uncle, meaning I should ask my ex, because I was in a relationship, for almost 2 years. The relationship, was really amazing, and we loved each other as much as we understood what love was. We were happy, and we had dreams, we had hopes, we had plans for the future and all those kind of things, but when I met Pastor Sunday towards the middle of last year, things started tweaking a little bit in my mind because I was so curious. I wanted to discover myself. I wanted to know who I am, so I was really excited as well. And as a result of that, we kind of mutually agreed to go our separate ways. So for my son to be asking me that I should call him and ask him, he knows what kind of chocolate he likes, and I didn't know what to say to my son in the beginning, and I just said to him, oh, uncle is not around, uncle traveled. But anyway, we came back home that day from school. I brought him back, I showered him, gave him dinner, and I put him to sleep. And all of a sudden, I heard this knock on my door. And this knock came really heavy. And I was wondering, like, I was not expecting anyone today in my house. Like, who is this in my house knocking at my door? Like, they're gonna pull down my house. You know, they kept on knocking, knocking. And so I went to the door. I opened the door. Oh no, I didn't open the door. First of all, I peeped to know who was it because the knock was really suspicious. So I peeped through, and it was somebody that I recognized. And because I recognized that person, and I have been fighting this person for a very, very long time, so I didn't want to open the door. So I went back and I sat down and I continued what I was doing. And the knock kept on persisting, persisting. And I was like, what am I going to do? You know, so I finally gave up. I went to open the door. And the moment I opened this door, I had this this person just jumped on me and started, you know, like was punching me and just pinned me to the ground. And he did not come alone. He came with his wife and he came with his children as well. And they were punching me. And I was like, oh my God, these people, where are you all coming from at the same time? And that person that I'm talking about, the man, his wife, and his children are three people that I recognized from when I was growing up. So the husband was my fear of being alone. I hated being alone, and I fought that fear. I've been fighting that fear, but I wasn't fighting that fear properly. I was fighting that fear with the wrong tools. I was just, when that fear comes, I just, you know, accept a relationship, and that is how I fight the fear. So for that person to actually have the opportunity that finally she is out of relationship and it's been 2 months, there hasn't been anyone, you know, so they had like to come and, you know, just like, you know, it was like, you know, when somebody really means you, like when they really really mean that they're gonna do something harmful to you. That was what happened to me that night. You know, I didn't want to be alone. I hated being alone. I hated it. And aside of the husband, which is that fear of being alone, the wife was the feeling of unworthiness, like, you know, that feeling that I'm not good enough. And his children, rejection and all kinds of things, they just came clamped on me that night. And I became vulnerable because physically I wasn't strong. I was really weak. You know, I became really vulnerable. I became very emotional, and I started crying, and I was crying, and I didn't even understand why I was crying. You know, was it the fact that I was really angry? What was it? I couldn't just get it, you know, but those things were just punching me, and I was like, okay, here we go. Where am I gonna get the strength? I don't, clearly we can see I don't have any physical strength to fight this feeling and to fight these people. What am I going to do? I said, okay, let me go to my spiritual compartment. I opened my spiritual compartment. Guess what I found there? Just bunch of religion that I found there. I couldn't find anything that was concrete enough for me to fight this feeling or to fight this fear. I couldn't find anything, you know, despite the fact that I was, you know, very active in church, you know, and I was leading the choir, and I was doing all these things, you know, but I had no personal relationship with God whatsoever. So spiritually and physically, I had nothing. Basically, I'm like a gun without a bullet. I had no bullet to fight. Okay, so now I'm like, these people, they are going to kill you this night, Elizabeth, if you don't find out what exactly you're going to use to really confront these people. And I remembered something that was said to me before, that, oh, because you're not good enough, you can't go anywhere. why don't you just die? Why don't you just kill yourself? Just kill yourself. And I remembered that word because I've been suicidal before. I've wanted to kill myself before. And so I remembered those words. And they were saying to me, that fear was saying to me, just die. You're going to be alone. Nobody's going to want to be with you. You're going to die. And not good enough? Really? You think you're going to fulfill purpose? You think you're going to do anything? You're just, you're just good for nothing, And for the life of me, I was like, no, no, no. I need to get something. And this scripture came to my mind. The scripture that says the devil comes to steal, to kill, and to destroy. Well, that night I had that experience that the devil was out to kill me. He was out to destroy me. He wanted to use that fear, and he wanted to use the fact that, I have this feeling that I am not worthy to kind of like, just destroy me. So, and I said to myself, you know what? If I can't fight you people physically, and I do not have any bullets spiritually to fight you all, I'm going to go to my mind. I went to my mind because my mind is a place that, I've filled up myself. I've filled my mind with so many messages of Pastor Sunday. So I had things to kind of use for myself. And I was saying to myself, no, I have a purpose to fulfill because, I was so passionate. Pastor Sunday sowed a seed of passion inside of me, and I was so passionate about women. I wanted to use my experience, to help women, and I just wanted to do so much, but at the end of the day, I couldn't, I just could not. I could not. Why? Because, I needed to discover myself. So going through that journey of discovering myself was the reason why, for me, I felt I came out of the relationship in the first place. So for the devil to want to use that avenue to say that I'm not going to allow you to even discover yourself, not to even talk of use your passion to do anything for anybody. And I took the messages that Pastor Sunday, some of the things that he said to me personally, and I was using it. And all of a sudden, I had this courage, to be able to, pick up my phone and send a message to someone to say, listen, I need to talk to someone because already I was vulnerable. I was crying. These people have pinned me down. There was just nothing that I could do that night. I had no power to fight that fear. I had no power to fight that feeling. I had no power whatsoever. So I grabbed my phone and I sent a message to my friend quickly, and I said to him, I said, listen, I really need to talk to someone right now. And when he called me, basically it was just those feelings, everything that was responding to him. But after that conversation, the three-way conversation we had, I got courage. I had the courage to say, you know what? I'm going to face you all. That fear, that feeling, that rejection, that feeling that I am not good enough, and, bringing those thoughts that, those suicidal thoughts to me that because you're not good enough, you should kill yourself and all those kind of things. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to face you all of you, one by one. I will face you all today. And one thing about when you make a decision to face your fear, when you make that decision, you get the courage to conquer it. And because I decided I wanted to face my fears, I sat down and I wanted to know, where is that feeling coming from? Where is that fear coming from? Where is that thought that I am not good enough? Where is it coming from? I want to get to the root of this issue. I want to know what is going on. And I sat down that night and I faced my fear. I faced the fact that I was alone. I acknowledged it, that yes, I am alone. And I also acknowledged it, that yes, I have been rejected, but I also want to get to the root. I want to get to the root, because when you get to the root of issues, they help you. You just, I just want to go and uproot that thing from wherever it's coming from. I just want to go and uproot it. I just want to go and uproot it. And I sat down and I started going through down to, from all the relationships that I've been through, down to my foundation. And this is what I found out from that courage to be able to face my fear. When I was a child, my dad left my mom, when I was still a baby. And that kind of like had a toll on me, and life became really difficult for me and my mom, because, my dad left us. So my uncle is such an amazing man, and he took up that responsibility to cater for myself and my mom. So despite the fact that the kind of job that my uncle was doing didn't allow him, as at that time, to, be with us all the time, his job kind of made him to, they kind of sent him all over the states, so he was traveling, all around. But, he still took up that responsibility to, cater for us. Anyway, I finished my primary school, glory be to God. I wrote all those things down, and when it got to my secondary school, it was still my uncle that took me, to my state. I'm from Benue State. My uncle took me to my state, and we had a bigger uncle there with his family, like, such an amazing people. And I started my secondary school, and can you believe it, that my uncle tried to reach out to my dad to say, your daughter is going to school, can you do something? And he didn't, like, I can't remember I can't remember him paying any single attention to what, my uncle was saying. So I started my secondary school, and then I was about age 11. And after the first term, because, I think in secondary school in Nigeria, you get like 3 terms. So after the first term, the second term, that was the first time I went to see my dad. Ever since he left my mom, that was the first time I went to see him. And when I went to see him, he already was married. The wife was good to me, and she helped me. She would give me things, provisions and things like that. And, I would go back to school. So that happened. The whole of Genesis 1 finished, and the Genesis 2 came. I went to see her, and they lived in this big compound, and she just had a baby then. And she said to me, oh, Elizabeth, can you help me get something from the shop? I was about 12 years old then. So I remember I was in front of the door, and I was looking for my slippers. I couldn't find my slippers. And because it rained, and if you're in Nigeria, if you know, when it rained in the house, your things are flying all over the place. Like, you can't find your clothes or your shoes or things like that. Like, things are just missing. So I couldn't find my slippers. And she came to me, typical parent. She started yelling at me, like, what is wrong with you? I asked you to go get something from the shop for me. What are you still doing here? And all those kind of things. And, because I was a child, I was 12 years, what the normal thing to do is just to say sorry. So I apologized to her. I didn't even get the chance to explain to her that I was looking for my slippers. And it was because of my slippers that I couldn't go to the shop, because she had this big provision shop. And I left for school. At 12 years old, I left for school. When I came back, after that holiday, And I went back to my dad because where I stayed with my mom is a different city from where my dad was staying. I went to my dad and I put my things down in the room. These are things like my mom bought for me. I put them down and I went to the shop to go and to say hello to my stepmom. And my stepmom looked at me with such a disgust, like I was coming from the gutter. And she just said to me, "Get out of my shop." Oh, I was like, is this not the woman that bought provision for me? I went to school like a month ago. What is going on? And I was so persistent, and I said hello to her again. I greeted her again. She said, "Eli, get out of my shop." I didn't say anything. I stood there, and she grabbed me by the hand and she pulled me out of her shop. And so I was like, okay, let me just go to somewhere and sit down. And I went somewhere and stayed. And a few minutes later, someone from the house came to call me, say, "Elizabeth, are you so person's daughter?" I was like, "Yes." They said, "Oh, your things are outside." I was like, "Nah, it can't be my things, no." He said, "Yes, your stepmom just threw your things outside." I was like, "No, my stepmom cannot do that." And as a 12-year-old child, I went there and I saw all the things my mom bought for me on the floor. And I just couldn't understand what was going on. And I was like, what is all this? And then I went to the shop and I asked her, did she throw my things out? She said, she didn't even answer me. She didn't say anything to me. I packed my things, put it back, went outside. And this woman threw my things again. And this time around, she locked the door. And because the kind of job my dad does, he goes to work in the morning. By the time my dad is back, it's already really late. So by this time around, I couldn't really have access to speak with him and to try and find out. And this woman had locked the door. I couldn't go in the house. I was 12 years old then. I have not eaten anything. She has refused me food. She has refused me everything. And I just didn't understand what is going on. And I couldn't speak with my dad because my dad came back from work really late. And I had to go and stay somewhere in the neighbor's compound. And that was what was going on every single year that I was going there. She would throw my things, whether it was raining, whether the place was muddy. She would refuse me food. Like, she was so mean to me. And from the time that I was a child, I was just 11 years old. What do I know as at that time? And I can remember that my dad only maybe said something to her maybe once or twice. Even my family members, they tried all they could, but they just couldn't. They couldn't do anything. I would greet this woman, she would not respond to me. Sometimes I would lay on the floor crying and begging this woman that anything that I have done to her, that she should forgive me. But yet, she never changed her mind. It felt like her heart was hardened. Like it was I couldn't describe it. And I had to learn very fast how to defend myself. I had to learn as a child how to speak for myself. I had to learn for myself how to, fight for myself. I had to learn as a child how to begin to confront, situations like this because I just couldn't understand it. Oh, God. Until one night, I was so fed up of the way she was treating me. I was so fed up of the fact that my dad is not really saying much. I was so fed up. And then I think I was about 14 years old. And that day, I just went to the house and I sat down with my dad and I was saying to him that this is what, this woman is doing to me. Like, I don't understand. I don't know what I did to her. And sometimes my dad would be like, oh, because you're stubborn, that is the reason why, just try and respect her, But I've been respecting her. I've been saying hello to her. I've been doing everything a child could do, but still, she is still mean to me. And whilst I was having that conversation with my dad, she just came into the house and she asked me to get out from the room. And my dad just sat down there as if he didn't hear what she said. And she said it again. She said, Eli, get out of my living room. And I was like, but I'm having a conversation with my father. She was like, get out. And I was so angry. I became very angry. Very, very angry. And I got up. I got up and I said to her, you know what? I'm not going anywhere. I am not going anywhere. I am so sick and tired of the way you're treating me in this house. You're treating me as if the loins you had your children is not the same loins my mom had me from. Like, why would you be treating me this way? The children that you are carrying, it is this with that father. It is still that same father that I came from. So why are you treating me this way? Why? And she wanted to become aggressive to me. And and what I just could not understand was that my father was still sitting down there like he was watching a movie, like we're acting cinema in front of him. And I said, you know what? I'm leaving this house and I am not coming back. And this was at age 14, and this was at about 11 p.m. And I got up. When I got up, I packed my things, and the walk from their room to the gate was like about 2 or 3 minute walk. I got to that gate at 11 p.m. I went out, and my dad never peeped to even wonder, where is my 14-year-old daughter going to in the middle of the night? And you know what, guys? I peeped through the gate to see if I would see my father coming to look for me or anything. I didn't see anyone. I didn't see anyone. And I concluded in my heart that this cannot be my father. Like, it's impossible. This cannot be my dad. How can my dad leave me at age 14 going out in the middle of the night? How about if I was raped or I was kidnapped? I mean, this is Africa. This is Nigeria. Anything can happen. How about if I was used for ritual and I couldn't get hold of my uncle because I had no mobile phone? So I didn't know who to call. I didn't know what to do. And because the people in the compound were already used to the way my stepmom treats me and my dad doesn't really do much, they opened up their doors for me. They always open up their doors. They give me food. Every time I go there, they give me food. They give me water. They, allow me to sleep there. So one of the neighbors called me and said, Elizabeth, come and stay with us. And I just knew that I don't have a father. Like, he can't defend me. He's not defending me. He's not fighting for me. I'm just all by myself. From the age that I was 12 years old, how can you do that to a little child? How? I don't get it. So that coldness between me and my dad, just kind of grew and grew and grew. And I really thank God, for my uncle who ensured that I was okay, who ensured that I went to school. And like I said, the place that I went to, which was, my big uncle's house, we had his children. They were so supportive, and my uncle's son as well, who will always come to check up on me. Throughout my secondary school days, it was a horrible story. Like, I bedridden school. I became a beggar. Like, I beg for food. I beg for beg. Like my forehead is just beggar. I will be begging for toothpaste. I will be begging for cream. I will be begging for this. I will be begging for that. My uniform will go all tattered, but I don't know what to do. And the only thing that I had in school was talking. All my classmates knew me then. The only thing that was comforting me was talking. I would talk. That was the only thing that was comforting me. But I was only using that to cover up for all the things that was going on inside of me. And that, I finished my secondary school with all that chaos. And as I'm talking to you guys until today, I don't know what I did to my stepmom. I don't. I do. I think I simply cannot understand what I did to her until till today. But why am I sharing this story? Why am I sharing this story? I'm sharing this story because remember I talked about that night, that fear of being alone, the fear of rejection, the fear of, you're not good enough, and no one can defend you. No one, can. Sorry, guys, my lighting just keeps going off. I'm just gonna try and fix that. Okay. Okay. So, you know, so all those things came because, from my childhood, they all came from, my foundation. They all came from my foundation, and that was why they thought that they had the guts, to destroy me. They had that nerve that they want to kill me. They want to destroy me. Because from when I am the only person that fight for myself. Nobody fight for me. Nobody speaks for me or defends me. And that night, I couldn't do anything. So these were the things that I found out. I found out that I had a faulty foundation. Because, you see, every woman, a woman is first married to her father. A woman is first married to her father. And if that marriage is dysfunctional, if that marriage is, if that marriage is void and is empty, if that marriage, there was no commitment, that marriage was like Titanic with the ship and the iceberg, which was like my relationship with my father. My father was the iceberg and I was the ship. When I bumped to him, I just got wrecked. Like wrecked. I was doing okay until I started going there. It was when I started going there that I had started experiencing all these things. So, that affected me a lot. That affected me a lot. And that was the major reason why, I was going from this relationship. But it was so important for me to face my fear so that I will be able to trace back to where is that fear coming from so that I can deal with it. Because I want to discover myself. I want to know who I am. I want to go after, my purpose. I want to go after, what I am called to do. I want to go after it. But I just could not. Because of these things that were affecting me, because of how a faulty foundation, was affecting me, how the values, how that emptiness that I grew up with and everything was just affecting me. I couldn't. I just couldn't. And like I said, that, a father or a key guardian in the life of a woman is so important. It's really, really important. Really important. And I remembered that emptiness and that voidness in my heart was the major reason why I kept on looking, I kept on searching for, I kept on, I was just finding myself, in the arms of strange men, because I was looking for, my father's love. I was looking for someone to defend me. I was looking for someone to accept me. I was looking for someone to, just be with me, so that I will not be all by myself, so that I will not be alone. So that I will not be alone. So that night, back to my story, that night gave me courage. I had courage to face my fears. And as a result of that, I was able to go back to my roots so that I can be able to deal with it. It is just better if you go to the roots. And like I said, when you face your fears, you are able to sit down and, develop a strategy, know how you really want to go and conquer that mountain, whatever it is you are afraid of. If you don't face it, you will never be able to conquer it. And if you turn your back against it, what happens is that it's gonna keep tormenting you, because you will keep being afraid of it, and you will never move on. Because I knew straight away that night that this was where this thing is coming from. Because I knew where these things were coming from, I was able to assess what are the things that I need to surmount this fear. What is the thing that I need? I just knew that another relationship is something that I cannot afford at the moment. I cannot afford finding myself in the arms of another strange man. I just knew that I couldn't afford it. I couldn't. It's just impossible. I can't. Because going from all this relationship to another, they cost me a lot. I suffered a lot. I went through toxic relationship, abusive relationship, a lot of things. So just being able to say, you know what, I'm going to face it. I will face it. So I was able to discover all these things. So in your journey to discovering yourself, you've got to, go back to your roots. You have to go back to your foundation. Anyway, guys, guess what? Another thing that night helped me to do was to open up a conversation between me and God. And this is such a funny conversation. Like, when I think about it, it's so funny. Anyway, that night, God was like, you know what, Elizabeth, this time around will not be a bad idea if you just give me your broken heart. And I was like, God, wait, oh, I know you are God, oh, eh? And I know you have the power to do anything you want to do. But as you see me like this, I don't want to go down that road, just use whatever you can use, but please, just leave my heart alone, I don't want to talk. Just leave my heart alone, I don't want to go down that road at all. And God was like, no, like, I need that heart. I was like, no, this heart is too damaged and it's too broken. Just leave it. In fact, I have locked the heart. I have thrown away the key. You know, in that Red Sea, where the soldiers of Pharaoh and everybody, just those Egyptians and everybody went and killed themselves there, that is where I threw away the key. In fact, we cannot find the key anymore. So just leave this heart alone. I don't want, God, let's not go down that road. I am begging you. Let's just use whatever you can use. I am committed. I am ready. But don't touch my heart. Just leave my heart alone. And God was like, no. I need your heart. I was like, hey, God, you know what? Listen, no, I dey beg you now, no. Just leave my heart alone. But anyway, what happened was that finally I decided that I was going to give God my heart, and I had a very long condition. I had so many conditions that I was going to give God my heart. And one thing I want to say is this. The devil uses our flesh to accomplish his mission. He uses our flesh. but God uses our heart. So even that I wanted to discover myself, and even that I wanted to fulfill my purpose, I want to live who I am, I want to be happy, I could not do that. And the reason why I could not do that is because my heart is completely shut down. My heart has been broken so many times. And the first person that broke my heart was my father. So it was quite a huge thing, and all the men that came in and went out of my life and maltreated me and all those things, had so much effect, in my heart, and I just kind of blocked out. So, and God was like, I need that heart. I need it. And that is why God said, guard your heart. Guard it. That is why God is saying that you should guard your heart, because out of that heart comes the issues of life. Out of that heart, that is where it is from your heart you love yourself. It is from your heart you're able to see, things. You're able to, it is from your heart you're able to give love to people. You cannot minister love to people if your heart is broken and your heart is shattered, your heart is destroyed. Maybe somebody broke your heart, or something happened to you in the past and you're thinking everything is okay. But if you don't really if that heart is not really worked on, like really, really worked on, that is gonna really hinder you. So God needed my heart, to be able to allow me to, flourish, and to allow me to, dive into my ministry and be able to love people and be able to love myself again. Anyway, what I said to him, I said, you know what, God, I give up. I'm not going to argue with you. I know that, Moses argued with you and he was able to win. But right now, I don't really see myself winning this battle. So I just give up. I give up. So what do you want to do? And he was like, okay, that, he's not going to hurt me, look, and he's going to give me a new heart. He's going to do this. And he said all these amazing things that he said he was going to do. And I said to him, I said, you know what, one more condition, you have to give me someone that will be able to walk through this journey with me. I'm not going to go through this journey all by myself. This is horrible. This is really painful. I can't do this. I can't do this. Like, I am powerless. I can't do this. And I'm so grateful to God because, God now sent Anastasia McDonald, because she had the same, issues, even much more than I do. And I want to say a very big thank you to her. So we started a healing journey together. And I would say it's a healing school where we go through this walk with our heart and all those things, So it was really an amazing journey, and God started opening up my heart, and God started showing me who I really am. And so many things were just happening, and I was so grateful because I was able to give him that brokenness. I was able to give him that broken heart so he can be able to walk on my heart and allow me to see myself in a much more better light. And I want to say this: nothing is greater than you discovering yourself. I'm telling you guys, discovering yourself is divine. It's so amazing. And you know what? You really don't have to be a Christian for you to discover yourself. So long as you're a human being and you're open, you're willing to be able to, go through that journey, you will know who you are and be able to, be happy again. So, and that faulty foundation, I had to go for counseling because it was a lot of trauma. Quite a lot of things happened in my childhood that I will not be able to share everything with you guys today. But you know what? The thing is that, going through counseling was such an amazing thing because it really, really helped me as well. It really helped my mental, my it helped me psychologically. It helped me to be able to deal with abuse and all that. And therapy and, going through that healing journey as well, with God. It's amazing. So amazing. So, why am I sharing this story? I'm just going to take few seconds to kind of say hello to you guys before I continue, so that I can share my vision of the real you with you guys. Thank you so much, Felicity. Chinwei, thank you so much. Oh, Tammy Foods, thank you for joining me. Oh, my coach is here. Tammy is here. She is my coach as well. She helps people package their passion. She is so amazing, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Bola, Eniola, thank you guys so much for joining me. So I'm just going to share with you guys, why I decided to share the story, so you can understand it. Now, I really desire, or I have a huge and a great passion to help, single women really discover who they are, especially those who grew up with, faulty foundation, grew up with, dysfunctional values, and grew up with, with kind of beliefs that affect you, and it just puts you in that position that you don't really see yourself in your full potential. You cannot really see yourself past where you've been, the things you've been through. You can't see yourself go past that place. So, and this is what the real you is all about. The real you is all about you going deep inside of yourself, regardless and irrespective of whatever it is that you have been through. And I respect anything you've been through, whatever brokenness or pain or whatever it is you've been through. I respect it. And I just want to say that, going deep inside of you to pull out who you really are, because most of us are just we've been conditioned, right from our childhood, to just leave, whatever label or whatever tag they give to us, we just take it, and we just carry on like that. We don't question it. We don't question, oh, why am I like this? Why am I looking like this? Or why do I behave like this? Or why do I talk like this? Or why is it that this is the only thing that I see about myself? We don't really question the label and the tag, that is being put upon us. And even some of us, we are exhibiting behaviors that, we don't even know that this behavior are as a result of, all these labels that have been put on us. We really don't know. We really don't know. And that is, that is going to hinder you. It's going to really hinder you if you just decide to settle for, whatever they give to you, whatever you've been given. If you decide to settle for it. Like me, I settled for the fact that I was not good enough. But right now, I know that I'm good enough. I know that I am extremely more than good enough. In fact, I am highly percentage good enough. And going through this journey did a whole massive renovation for me. It's a massive renovation. It changed my perspective. It changed my mindset. It changed the way I see myself. It changed the way I see my world. And right now, in case you're wondering, oh, Elizabeth, have you forgiven your dad? Have you forgiven your mom? Of course. Of course I have. Because I have walked in myself. Because I've come to realize that, you know what? Forgiveness is not so much about the people that hurt you as much as it is about you. But when you're going through that journey of discovering yourself and you want to know who you are, you will get to see a much more broader perspective of life. And then you get to know what, they just made their decision. My dad made his own decision, and I just happened to be, at the receiving end of whatever decision it was. So I really want to help, I really want to help single women to really discover themselves. I really want to help you to know who you are, to question some of the things some of the ways you see yourself and some of the ways you identify yourself, and, as women, we have this illusion that true happiness only comes when you are in sort of kind of a relationship. But you know what? True happiness begins with you knowing who you are, knowing that this is who I am. I accept this woman that is standing in the mirror before me. I accept her with her strengths, with her weaknesses, with everything. I accept her, I embrace her, and I am gonna leave her. And I have no answer to. I have, regardless. I don't have any answer. I'm not gonna. I don't have any explanation to anyone. And the moment you do that, then you are happy. Then your true happiness just kind of balls in you. And we also have this illusion that you can only be fulfilled and complete when you are also in a relationship. But you know what? Fulfillment just comes in that position that you're fulfilling your purpose. That is where you get fulfillment. That is where you say, yes, I am happy. Because in purpose, in giving happiness, whatever it is that you're giving from your inside, whatever it is you're doing, then you're just fulfilled. You're fulfilled in what you are doing because it's coming from the inside of you. It's not your mother that is telling you that you should do this, or your father is telling you you this is who you really are. This is all of you. So it is in fulfilling purpose, and your purpose is inside of you, is connected to who you are. So discovering the real you helps you to fulfill your purpose, and you are fulfilled on the inside. And especially for single women, that come from this foundation is such an important thing. Is such an important thing. And as we go through this journey, I will share with you guys, some of the things that I have got to realize, that how a faulty foundation can really, really affect you, can affect the way you see yourself. Thank you so much. Thank you, Good Luck, and thank you, Onila, for joining me today. I want to say a very big thank you. So guys, I'm so grateful for joining me today. So all my single ladies, where you all at, it's time for us, to be ourselves. It's time for us, to go out there and fulfill our purpose. Today, I am so happy, discovering yourself is not really a one-day journey. It's not a one-day thing. It's like consistently as you're going. So I'm so happy because every day God shows me what true love really means. He showed me what love is. He showed me how to love myself. And I do all these funny things with him, and I'm not going to tell you guys, but it's such an amazing thing. It's such an amazing thing. So, you know what? If you have anything you would like us to, talk about during during this journey, please, I want you to let me know. No man is an island. I don't know everything, but you know what? If we come together, we will acquire this knowledge and we will go ahead, to just live our true self. I mean, it's divine. When you discover yourself, it's just divine. It's just amazing. It's just amazing. So, I want to thank you guys. Thank you, Miss Deborah, Mr. Jabani. What of the single men? As a matter of fact, I would love for the single men as well to come, because they will get to learn some of the things that they are doing. They need to fix themselves as well. So it's a good thing, but this is just, for single women. I am really passionate about women. I'm really passionate about, helping, single women. I'm really passionate about it. And just in case you're wondering, I'm saying, oh, my father was in the house, so I didn't grow up, I don't have any faulty foundation. You know what? Join me next week. I want you guys to join me next week, and you will really find out. I will share with you guys what a faulty foundation really means, and what are some of the values and what are some of the beliefs that we've grown up with, and it's really affecting us, and it's kind of like a stumbling block for us to really discover ourselves. So does anyone has a question for me? I'm so happy for you guys to join me here today. Okay, ladies, please, I want you to have your journal, like have a book ready as we go through this journey. You're going to be journaling things, and today I would like you to, really sit down with yourself and ask yourself some questions like, what are your fears? Try, and if you can think about anything that you are really afraid of, just write it down. There will be a time where we'll be needing them. Write all your fears down, whatever it is that you are afraid of. Like me, I was afraid of being alone. I was afraid, of rejection, and rejection also was one of the things that made me, I couldn't do anything, and I felt that I wasn't good enough. And even when I go into relationship, it does affect me, because I kind of feel like, because I'm not good enough, the guy is gonna dump me. So I'm willing to do anything just to make sure that, the relationship is sound. So write down all your fears, whatever it is that you are afraid of. Write it down. If you can write it down, you can see it, then you can be able to begin to say, okay, this, I know this. Okay, where is it coming from? How do I tackle it? Then you know how you can tackle it. Then you can know what kind of strategy or what is it that you need for you to be able to deal with it. So write down all your fears, whatever it is you're afraid of. I want you to write it down. So thank you guys so much for joining me today on The Real You. I will see you guys next week, Wednesday, 9 p.m., where the show begins. From next week, we are starting the main show. And as we go along, you will get to know me better. You will get to know some of the things that I just, couldn't share with you guys today. So thank you guys so much. And I love you all so much. And remember that being the real you is the new diva. You want to be a diva? Discover yourself. You want to be a diva? You gotta know the real woman that is inside of you. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next week, Wednesday. Thank you so much, Pastor Anu. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Joyce. Thank you, Felicity. Thank you, Eniola, for thank you, Peace. Thank you, Chinwei. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. And if I couldn't call your name, I'm so sorry, because I could not see your name. But thank you guys so much, and I love you all so much with the whole of my heart. And remember, guys, keep being the real you. Just be yourself. Bye.